Brothers, thank you for joining us this evening. It is a real pleasure to be with you, and we have a number of exciting updates to share tonight. Let me start by quickly mentioning who will be presenting tonight. My name is Justin Kirk, and I serve as the Executive Director of Delta Upsilon International Fraternity and Foundation. I'm joined by Tom Durein, Oregon State 92, who serves as DU's International Fraternity President. Finally, we are joined by past fraternity president and chairman of the Ignite the Charge campaign, Bruce McKinney, Missouri 74. We began these town halls in the summer of 2020 to update our membership on how the fraternity was responding to the pandemic. We found this to be an effective way to communicate what is happening in DU to our loyal alumni and campus partners. Each of these town halls have included a couple hundred participants and have become a staple in our communications. We heard from many of you after those first couple town halls that you wanted to see more of these in the future, and we are committed to doing a couple of these a year. In the last 3 weeks, we welcomed back to campus nearly 3,000 undergraduates in our 73 chapters and associate chapters. And in late July, we had more than 350 brothers and guests gathered in Kansas City for the Leadership Institute. We celebrated our successes, conducted fraternity business, delivered education, but most importantly, shared brotherhood and fellowship. This fall, the fraternity is pleased to be returning to 2 of our old gold chapters, and the staff is currently at Virginia Tech, restarting our chapter there. And in late September and early October, we couldn't be more pleased to be returning to the University of Washington. So here we are in early September, and the school year has started. The excitement is happening on our campuses. Our brothers are conducting philanthropies and social events and doing community service, participating in campus activities. And it's really just an exciting time for Delta Upsilon. And we have such an exciting year ahead of us.
Brothers, it truly is great to be with you, as Justin mentioned. So thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. Over the last year, I've really enjoyed myself being able to reconnect with our alumni across North America. We've held alumni events in Indianapolis and St. Louis, San Diego, Orlando, Omaha, Seattle, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and even Philadelphia. And it was so great to see so many of you, as well as trying to connect with some of our undergraduates in those locations. Reconnecting with alumni is what I value most about the fraternity president's role. I have enjoyed that so much. Love getting to talk to our brothers, hearing what they have to say, and hearing what they want and need for our undergraduates. We have a lot of great things happening at DU, and I love to share our story with them, with all of our brothers, and many of who do not know about our DU story as of today.
I'd like to kick off tonight and provide a brief update on the state of the fraternity. While we are a couple years removed from the global pandemic, we are continually monitoring and tracking our return to our pre-pandemic levels. 2 years ago, the fraternity staff identified a number of areas that we needed to focus on to return chapter operations and programming to the pre-pandemic levels. A couple of the focus areas were, we wanted to reconnect with our chapters and advisors in person, build relationships, and show the value of fraternity. We want to be able to increase member engagement. In the years immediately following the pandemic, we saw a decrease in our in-person educational programming, and we know how impactful those educational programs can be. We saw a decrease in membership the year of the pandemic that carried into the year after. And so we really wanted to dedicate some recruitment resources and in-chapter or in-servicing attention to drive back those recruitment numbers. And lastly, we want to focus on increasing our number of Building Better Men retreats. Our Building Better Men retreats is a chapter retreat that we offer, and our assessment and research says that's our most impactful educational program. It's not only our most impactful educational program, but we take those retreats directly to the chapter, and it has an impact on more members than any of our other educational programs. So as we thought about in 2021, what do we need to be doing as a fraternity staff to really impact the fraternity and get back to those pre-pandemic levels? We identified those couple areas that we wanted to focus on. And so this summer, as I was reflecting on this past academic year, I can truly say that this is the first year that I believe operations and engagement were back at those pre-pandemic levels. Let me just share a couple data points that highlight our successes and really illustrate the point that we are back to those pre-pandemic levels. If we look at our initiate numbers, in 2018, we had the most initiates in the history of Delta Upsilon. And you can see there in 2019, we had about 1,300. You saw the drop off after the pandemic. And last year, this past year, we returned to those near pandemic levels. And so I'm confident that in this next year, we'll be back to those 2019 numbers. I was looking at a couple data points earlier today, and our returning members in the fall of 2023 are up 10% over returning members in the fall of 2022. So that is the same number of chapters and associate chapters, but yet our membership is up 10%. So we truly are bouncing back on the membership side from the pandemic. I mentioned our Building Better Men retreats being our most impactful educational program. 2 years ago, we did 12 chapter retreats. This past year, we were able to grow the number of retreats to 27. So more than a third of our DU chapters were impacted by a full chapter retreat. And in those chapter retreats, we sent either staff or volunteers in to spend an entire weekend with the full chapter. And as I mentioned earlier, our research says they are the most impactful experiences. And those 27 chapter retreats impacted 1,100 of our DU undergraduates. And so again, it's about a third of our membership that we're able to directly impact with this educational program. We also have been monitoring our in-person educational programs, and whether they be the Leadership Institute, President's Academy, Regional Leadership Academy, or Emerging Leaders Experience. And last year, that program attendance really bounced back with being up over 100 members from the previous year. And so our members are saying, we want those educational programs. They're happy to start traveling again. And this past year, we just saw this increased level of engagement that was really inspiring to all of us staff, volunteers, members of the board, that our DU undergraduates are really yearning for those in-person educational experiences. And the last data point that I'll share with you really talks about the experience the undergraduates are having and how healthy and safe that experience actually is. So on the screen there, you can see our insurance costs per man, and they've continued to go down since 2019. On the other hand, the industry numbers are going up. And so while our peers are seeing increasing insurance rates due to incidents and losses, what we're seeing in DU is that our numbers are continually going down to a point now where we have one of the lowest insurance rates across the industry. And so that's a testament to our undergraduates and the experience they're having, the safety of it, and that really we just have a high quality group of undergraduates who are living our principles day in and day out and offering this safe home and experience for our members and guests.
And to Justin's point, we want to thank you all for that, because whatever you're doing to support your local chapters or when you talk with undergraduates, and we're so proud of our undergraduates, we're grateful for them, because this just helps us really continue to look at the bigger picture and more long range about where our fraternity will continue to grow towards. And so thank you for that. And I want to speak a little bit to that right now. Great things going on at the local level, at the undergraduate level. We've also got some terrific things going on at the international fraternity level. Our fraternity's board of directors has spent the past couple of years focused on developing a new strategic plan. The pandemic slowed our efforts indeed, but at each of our meetings these past 2 years, we have spent significant time discussing the state of Delta Upsilon, higher education, and our vision for the future, not just for our undergraduates, but for the fraternity as a whole. There is significant change happening in society. You see it, we talk about it all the time, and that change is happening in higher education as well. And we need to continue to be at the forefront of those changes. And our board of directors, your board of directors, we're thinking about that all the time. So we completed the plan this past spring, and we introduced the final version to the fraternity at this past summer's Leadership Institute. And tonight, we're excited to be able to share with you at our town hall a high-level overview of that new strategic plan. Our plan going forward will have 4 focus areas. The first area of focus, providing impactful experiences for undergraduates. We've made great strides in this area over the last 10 years, and our assessment data shows that we are continuing to make a difference. We want to consider how to take this to the next level, though. With this area, the providing impactful experiences for our undergraduates, we will specifically be looking to increase the number of unique undergraduates participating in our DU-IF programs, increase the number of virtual programs and attendees so folks that can't attend in person can still take advantage of these opportunities, and then offer virtual attendance options for these live fraternity programs. The second area of our focus, innovate fraternity operations and our delivery mechanisms. DU has been at the forefront of innovating and remaining relevant. It's something we talk about all the time, very important to our principals. With this particular area, we will be looking to, one, audit and innovate technology use to contemporary standards. How is technology changing and how can we take advantage of it, bring it up into current opportunities to help our students? And then two, to design and pilot new models to deliver the DU experience beyond our current traditional models. We have already made great progress in this area with the introduction of our new chapter and member portal. If you're not familiar with that, we'll get you clued into that. If you haven't already, and I would encourage you to log in and update your information. The third area of focus in our new strategic plan will be to invigorate alumni engagement with the fraternity. Everybody knows that DU is a lifelong, we hope that DU is a lifelong experience, and we know that the undergraduate experience is stronger with engaged alumni. Within this area, we will be looking to, one, increase our number of engaged, trained volunteers and advisors. Two, we're looking to design and implement a strategy to engage young alumni through their first 5 years of alumni membership. You know, we notice our alumni, they graduate and they're going out and they're active and they're getting their jobs, but they're still wanting to be connected with the folks that they spent their last 3, 4, 5 years with. We have this opportunity to really engage them in those first 5 years of alumni membership. We want to take advantage of that while they're excited and why they can still help our younger undergraduates. And then third in this particular area, we want to diversify opportunities for alumni to engage with DU. As we grow and as we age, our interests change, our needs change, our wants change. We want to be able to tap into our alumni and help them understand what excites them and ways that we can plug them into the fraternity in a way that's meaningful for them. And then the final area of focus for the new strategic plan, just growth of our undergraduate membership. We, fortunately, at Delta Upsilon, we were able to weather the pandemic better than most fraternal organizations, but the pandemic years were a challenge. With this area, we will be looking to very simply, one, grow our total undergraduate membership, and two, increase the number of initiates in individual chapters each year. We believe this plan and the ensuing programs and activities that will position our fraternity to meet the current needs of our chapters and our undergraduates and alumni. As we make progress on the plan, we'll keep you posted, and there will be opportunities for alumni to engage. We want you to be vigilant and paying attention to us and asking us questions and being involved, and then to be on the lookout for more information because we're going to be excited to share it with you. Now is the time when we turn our attention to the efforts of the Educational Foundation. We've talked about our strategic plan. We have a huge, big part of our fraternity that helps us make that plan happen, and that's the work and the efforts and the fundraising of our foundation. They've been hard at work executing the largest fundraising initiative in our fraternity's history. Hopefully you're all aware, but I'm talking about the Ignite the Charge campaign. Last summer at the Leadership Institute, the foundation publicly kicked off the Ignite the Charge campaign and announced an aggressive goal of raising $6 million for our fraternity's future. Since then, the DUEF staff, our board of trustees, and our campaign cabinet have been engaging thousands of DUs across North America and sharing the news of this amazing initiative, news that continues to be very, very well received. If you have yet to learn about the campaign, in short, there are 3 main objectives driving our $6 million initiative. First, the charge of individual development. Second, the charge of chapter enhancement. And third, the charge of fraternal relevance and innovation. I think
Good evening, brothers.
There you go.
Yeah, the campaign's made a great progress this past year, but with less than 1 year remaining to reach our $6 million goal, we have some major work ahead of us. Before I share where our giving total stands today, I do want to highlight a few examples of how donors to the campaign have already made an immediate impact on our undergraduates, our chapters, and volunteers. So first, a major gift to the campaign enabled us to add a second session of our most popular educational program, the Emerging Leaders Experience, or DUAL, which will continue in perpetuity. Second, a record 69 Leadership Institute scholarships were granted to DU undergraduates last month, thanks to the many additional gifts from campaign donors. These scholarships ensure more men attend LI each year, and they also relieve the financial burden often placed on the backs of our undergraduates and the local chapters. Third, to increase the direct impact at the local chapter level, campaign gifts expanded the number of Building Better Men retreats to a record 27 chapters, as Justin mentioned earlier, this past year. Fourth, 31 new named endowment funds have been established for the campaign. These funds require a minimum commitment of $25,000, and they provide grants for educational program scholarships for DU undergraduates in perpetuity. Fifth, and finally, 12 DU chapters have newly established or expanded chapter legacy plan endowments. These endowments, known as CLPs, provide educational programming scholarships for their respective chapters every year, and they give DU alumni the opportunity to support the campaign in a way that directly impacts their local chapter. Alumni from these 12 chapters will be hearing from one of our volunteer chapter ambassadors in the weeks ahead with information on how to give to the campaign through their chapter legacy plan. So these are just a few highlights of the Ignite the Charge campaign thus far. And I'm thrilled to announce that as of today, we have secured gifts and pledges to the campaign totaling $5,325,000. Forgive me for rounding up $2, but that's not bad. Thank you to the many DUs and friends who've already joined the campaign donor list. With less than 1 year remaining to surpass our $6 million goal, we face the challenge of raising roughly another $700,000 to meet the educational programming needs of our chapters. The story of the Ignite the Charge campaign has been quite exciting from the beginning. But tonight we pause and we ask ourselves, so what will the final chapter, this final $700,000 of the campaign look like? So as your campaign chairman, I hope, and no, I really should say it is my charge to you and DUs everywhere to do your part to make the story of the Ignite the Charge campaign just like the countless other stories of triumph from our fraternity's cherished history. With the help of alumni, undergraduates, parents, and friends everywhere, we can solidify DU's future and our commitment to friendship, character, culture, and justice. So at this point, let's take a moment to enjoy the latest video that tells the story of this exciting campaign.
For nearly 2 centuries, Delta Upsilon has nurtured the hearts and minds of thousands of brothers across North America. Our cherished history began with 3 young men at Williams College in 1834. 3 pioneering men who wanted to form a non-secret society, the first of its kind. A society open to all who valued social equality, peaceful conduct, and above all, high moral principles. What began with 3 men soon became 30, and in the decades ahead, the idea of a non-secret brotherhood based on merit captured hundreds more as Delta Upsilon spread from campus to campus across North America. The story of Delta Upsilon, although imperfect, is not simply a collection of triumphant victories or fraternal accolades, of which there are many. No, the remarkable story of our fraternity is best told through the lives of countless brothers who honor Delta Upsilon as lifelong champions of friendship, character, culture, and justice. Worthy men who believed in our mission of building better men and felt it was their responsibility to live lives of character and purpose. Men who didn't just carry the torch for our fraternity, but for our businesses, schools, families, governments, and our collective society. Our history is filled with stories of remarkable achievement, told and untold because of a long and illustrious line of DU greats. Their stories are forever etched in our history. They inspire us today and will never be forgotten. Fast forward to the 21st century, and you'll see a great period of progress in Delta Upsilon. The DU experience is in high demand on 70-plus college campuses. Our young men are academically focused and committed to learning. More undergraduates are experiencing cutting-edge leadership programs that personify our founding principles for the modern world. Our alumni believe strongly in the DU experience, and they are investing in the young men taking up the torch for our fraternity. Despite Delta Upsilon's recent period of progress, our vitality faces serious challenges as we look to the future. To solidify our fraternal future, Delta Upsilon's leadership has been in the midst of a $6 million fundraising initiative to meet our challenges head-on. The Ignite the Charge campaign seeks to secure our future through increased scholarship funding and expanded educational programming opportunities for all DU undergraduates, enhanced Building Better Men retreats and other customizable initiatives that support the local needs of our chapters and volunteers, new research and assessment initiatives that prove the DU experience works, along with upgraded technologies to streamline chapter operations and strengthen alumni engagement. Truth be told, the goal of securing $6 million for our future has been no small undertaking. But, as we have seen so often throughout our history, the DU alumni and friends of today are answering the charge by stepping forward to support our undergraduates, chapters, and volunteers like never before. This campaign has already ignited a passion inside a growing list of supporters. In many ways, they are our modern-day DU greats because of their commitment to securing our fraternity's future. Thanks to their collective support, the campaign is already impacting our chapters with expanded programming and new initiatives. Despite our exciting campaign progress, there is one question that still remains. Will more DUs step forward in the next 12 months and join the list of campaign supporters? For those yet to pledge their support, now is the time to honor the DU brothers who came before us, loyal men who inspired us, challenged us, and invested in our future so that we could become the best version of ourselves through the fraternity. Now is the time for DUs everywhere to heed the charge from our initiation and renew our commitment to friendship, character, culture, and justice. Maybe the words from our public ritual say it best. Our past is secure. Our future depends on our vigilance. Now is the time for DUs and friends to ignite the charge and invest in the young men eager to write the next historic chapter of our fraternity and soon our world.
Our past is secure and our future depends on our vigilance. Couldn't be said better. Quoted from our ritual. Gentlemen, if you have yet to secure your place on the campaign donor list, I hope you'll respond sometime in the next year when you hear from the DU Educational Foundation staff or from one of our outstanding campaign volunteers. While some alumni will be asked to support their chapter legacy plans, I do have one final campaign surprise to share for all of our loyal DUEF donors, and it is an opportunity like we've never had before. As many of you know, the annual loyalty fund is the foundation's most critical funding source each year because it provides us with unrestricted resources that make all of our Building Better Men programs and initiatives possible. And gifts to the annual loyalty fund count toward our $6 million goal for the Ignite the Charge campaign. I'm excited today to announce that one of our most loyal annual loyalty fund supporters has been so inspired by the Ignite the Charge campaign that he wanted to do something special to encourage more DUs to step forward in the campaign's final year. This loyal donor, who wishes to remain anonymous, is offering a $300,000 challenge gift to all annual loyalty fund donors this year. But the terms of his challenge gift are a bit unique, so let me explain. Any DU who makes a one-time gift to the annual loyalty fund in the coming year will have his gift matched dollar for dollar by our anonymous challenge donor. In other words, your gift of $500 immediately becomes $1,000, etc. But, and here's the historic part of this challenge gift, any DU who pledges a 5-year commitment to the annual loyalty fund will have their entire pledge amount matched 3-to-1 by our challenge donor. This is incredible. In other words, if you pledge $500 each year for the next 5 years, your collective giving of $2,500 will have an additional $7,500 match from our challenge donor, resulting in a $10,000 impact on the Ignite the Charge campaign. Think of what we have to get done this year, and that is an incredible opportunity. It's an opportunity like never before for our fraternity, and our challenge gift donor wants to inspire other alumni to give each year to the annual loyalty fund. So we hope this challenge gift, along with all the other gifts supporting the campaign, will inspire DUs everywhere to do their part and to help us surpass that $6 million goal by August 1st of next year. We have a little bit less than 1 year to get all of this amazing work done. Brothers, although we all have different means, everyone can do their part for our undergraduates and for the future of our fraternity. I hope you will respond generously. Think about what you can do and respond when you hear from the DUF through a letter or a phone call or an email, however we get in touch with you through this final year of the Ignite the Charge campaign. Before Justin offers some closing comments, I'd like to give a huge thank you. For those of you who were not aware, a huge thank you to Brother Bruce McKinney for this update and for his incredible leadership of the Ignite the Charge campaign. Bruce has worked tirelessly with our DUEF chairman, Louis Gregory, and the members of the staff to bring this campaign to life. Brother Bruce, thank you for your continued service to our fraternity. I'll turn it back over to Justin.
Thank you, Tom and Bruce. And I want to thank those brothers and friends who have and will support DU in the Ignite the Charge campaign. This historic campaign is already making a difference in the lives of our undergraduates. A challenge that I'll leave to each of you. If you heard something tonight that inspired you, I would ask that you call, text, or email one other DU brother and spread the word of the good things happening in DU. Many DUs do not know the successes of our fraternity today. DU's Day of Giving in 2023 will be on Monday, November 6th, 2 days after Founders Day, which is on a Saturday. So mark your calendars. It's a month and a half away for our upcoming DU Day of Giving. This virtual town hall was recorded and will be sent to all DUs in the days ahead. And finally, if you have any questions about anything you heard tonight, please feel free to reach out to Tom or myself or any other member of the staff. We'd be happy to discuss any of our current initiatives, plans for the future, the strategic plan, or simply talk about how we might be able to engage you more in the future. So again, thank you to everyone for joining us tonight, and thank you for your ongoing commitment to Delta Upsilon. Have a good night.